A'ja Wilson is frustrated after learning that Caitlin might have the chance to move to Europe. A'ja has already pushed for a top spot with Nike, and now seeing how much Caitlin could earn overseas is creating some tension.
Nonsense about things that Caitlin was doing wrong when, in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night and ignoring the hate that was coming to her from all sides, not only from fans.
If Caitlin moves overseas, she'll become the highest paid women's basketball player in the world. A'ja isn't pleased about this. She feels that, after being named MVP, she should be the one getting the most attention and the biggest opportunities. But that's not the case.
A'ja Wilson, 28 years old, 1,000 points in the regular season. Why is that not the biggest story out at the moment? And why are we talking about Caitlin Clark?
Why exactly? Why when A'ja was releasing a shoe, were we talking about Caitlin Clark?
Why, Clark? Why is it that when A'ja was making headlines, we were still focused on Caitlin? Caitlin has boosted her sponsorships, increased her earnings, and helped make the WNBA one of the most watched sports. Yet, there are still players in the league showing jealousy. This is exactly why Caitlin might need to leave. Let's imagine a game without her and see what happens.
It's now commonplace where she'll go for 26 and 12. I mean, those are great numbers for any player, no matter how long you've been in the league. She's learned how to play the game, and she said, I had to learn how to play the WNBA.
A'ja believes she's the star. But before Caitlin arrived, the WNBA didn't have much of a fan base. Caitlin deserves to be the highest-earning player. Hopefully, she goes abroad and shows players like A'ja Wilson what real success looks like.
But if you guys take a look at the stands, all the seats, even the courtside seats, are empty.
The possibility of Caitlin Clark's signing with a European basketball league has caused a stir in the WNBA. Europe has always been a hotspot for top talent in many sports, with competitive leagues offering attractive contracts and global recognition. For Caitlin, the financial rewards of playing in Europe are hard to ignore, as salaries are often surpass those in the WNBA. Europe offers her a chance to secure her financial future while continuing to excel at the highest level of basketball.
4. Moved home games to bigger arenas when Indiana came to town to accommodate more fans. I'm not finished. Attendance for the entire league is up nearly 50% this year, and Indiana leads all teams with an average attendance of 17,035, up 319% from a year ago.
A'ja Wilson has made it clear how she feels about Caitlin Clark's potential move to Europe, and at the core of her frustration is money. A'ja, who has been a dominant force in the WNBA for years, finds it hard to accept that Caitlin could earn more abroad. It's not just about securing her financial future. It's about the recognition that comes with being the highest paid player. Earning more means being valued more, and for A'ja, this shift in earning potential threatens her status as one of the league's top players. In professional sports, salary often equals respect, and the highest paid players are seen as the most valuable both on and off the court. A'ja has worked hard to build her brand and solidify her place in the WNBA. But now, the rise of Caitlin Starr could overshadow her own. For someone who has been the face of the league for so long, this is a tough reality to face.
Went from being one of the most loved teams in the WNBA to being riddled with so much drama this season. A'ja Wilson was under fire last week for the privileged comment that she made to Kelsey Plum.
A'ja Wilson's reaction to Caitlin Clark's potential Europe contract isn't just about money. It's also about the fear of losing her place as the face of the league. For years, A'ja has been the name people turn to when talking about women's basketball. But Caitlin's quick rise has changed that. The thought that Caitlin could not only out-earn her, but also steal the spotlight overseas is a blow to A'ja's sense of security and her position in the sport. Being the face of the WNBA is more than just being a great player. It's about being the one who captures the public's imagination, drives viewership, and represents the league globally. A'ja has held the spot for a while, but Caitlin's rise has sparked fierce competition. A'ja believes Caitlin should have been a top MVP candidate, perhaps even the most important person in the league. For A'ja, it's not just about being the best player. It's about staying relevant in a rapidly changing environment where Caitlyn's name is becoming synonymous with the future of women's basketball. One of the biggest differences between the two players is how fans see them. Caitlyn has quickly built a loyal following, with fans supporting her both on and off the court. Her strong social media presence and high game viewership numbers have created a noticeable divide. Despite her years of success, A'ja hasn't been able to generate the same level of fan loyalty that Caitlyn seems to effortlessly command. So why has Caitlyn won over fans so quickly, while A'ja struggles to maintain the same admiration? Part of it is the excitement surrounding new talent. Fans are naturally drawn to the next big thing, and Caitlyn's arrival has brought a fresh story to the league. While A'ja is seen as a dominant force, Caitlyn is being positioned as the future of the sport, making A'ja feel like a part of the league's past.
Don't agree with it. I thought she would be unanimous. I mean, it's not even close, because I said the most important person in the league is Caitlin Clark, and should be a top 5, if not, it should have been a top 3 MVP candidate.
For A'ja Wilson, the lack of fan recognition is a real frustration. After all her hard work to build her legacy, she now finds herself overshadowed by Caitlyn, who's just starting to make her mark. This isn't just about losing fans. It's about losing relevance in a league where fan loyalty can make or break a player's career. A'ja worries that as Caitlyn's growing army of supporters takes more attention, her own fan base could shrink, putting her in a weaker position both in the league and in the public eye. Winning MVP should have secured her as the face of the WNBA, but instead, she's watching Caitlyn take over the spotlight. One of the puzzling aspects of Caitlin Clark's rise is the league's apparent reluctance to fully embrace her. Despite everything Caitlyn has done for the WNBA, from boosting viewership to advocating for better conditions, she's faced resistance within the league. This pushback is surprising, given how much she's elevated the profile of women's basketball, even pushing for changes like chartered jets for player travel. Why would the WNBA, an organization that should celebrate its stars, treat Caitlyn this way? Part of the reason is the change Caitlyn represents. She's part of a new wave of players challenging the status quo. Caitlyn's impact isn't just about her on-court skills. She's made significant strides in improving the league's conditions, like her advocacy for chartered jets, which have greatly improved travel for players. Before Caitlyn's push, WNBA players dealt with grueling travel schedules that left them exhausted and unable to perform at their best. By demanding better travel, Caitlyn helped create a more professional environment for her fellow athletes, allowing them to focus on the game. But Caitlyn's contributions don't stop there. She's been a vocal advocate for fair pay and better working conditions, speaking out on behalf of her fellow players. Her willingness to take a stand has made her a leader in the league, though it's also made her a controversial figure. While some support her push for change, others see her as a threat to the established order. Caitlyn's rise to power has made some uncomfortable, especially those who are used to controlling the narrative. Despite facing resistance, Caitlyn has continued to push for changes that benefit everyone, yet she hasn't been universally appreciated for it. Instead of celebrating her efforts, Caitlyn has found herself at the center of controversy. Some, like A'ja Wilson, view Caitlyn's push for change as a challenge to the way things have always been done, creating a divide between those who support Caitlyn's vision for the future and those resistant to the changes she represents.
Even were so bad, they got the #1 pick. You got to be bad to get the #1 pick. And she led them to their first 20-win season in almost a decade. She led them to the playoffs. I mean, the girl deserved the award.
One of the biggest worries for the WNBA if Caitlyn Clark decides to leave for Europe is the effect it would have on viewership. Caitlyn has become one of the league's most popular players, with fans specifically tuning in to watch her play. Her exciting basketball style and ability to connect with fans on a personal level have made her a major draw. Whenever Caitlyn is on the court, viewership spikes, but when she's not, the league sees a noticeable drop in ratings that if Caitlyn were to leave for Europe, the WNBA would lose not just a top player, but also a significant portion of its audience. Her ability to attract viewers is unmatched, and her departure would create a gap that would be hard, if not impossible, to fill. The league is still working to grow its fan base and visibility, And losing a star like Caitlin could be a huge setback. The impact wouldn't just affect the league. It would also affect individual players, including A'ja Wilson. With fewer fans watching games, sponsorship deals and endorsement opportunities would likely shrink, which would lower players' earnings and limit their ability to build their personal brands.
LeBron James had tennis shoes in his rookie year. He didn't have a fraction of the impact on the NBA that Caitlin Clark has had on the W.
A'ja Wilson, already frustrated with Caitlin's rise, would find herself in an even tougher spot if Caitlin leaves for Europe and takes a big chunk of the audience with her. A'ja's frustrations with Caitlin go beyond just basketball. They extend into the world of endorsements, especially with Nike. A'ja, who has been a Nike athlete for years, has worked hard to build her brand and secure her place as one of the company's top stars. However, despite Caitlin's growing popularity, Nike has been slow to fully embrace her. While A'ja has received significant promotion from the brand, Caitlin has been largely sidelined, mostly due to the controversy surrounding her within the league. For A'ja, this situation isn't just about money. It's about recognition and influence. Endorsements are a crucial part of an athlete's career, helping shape their public image and providing the financial means to continue competing at the highest level. Nike's hesitation to fully back Caitlin highlights the tricky balance brands must maintain between supporting top talent and steering clear of controversy. Clip 10. Despite her efforts to elevate the WNBA, Caitlin Clark has faced considerable backlash from both the league and some of her fellow players. This raises the question of why she's so misunderstood. From the outside, it might be hard to grasp. Caitlin has brought nothing but positive attention to the WNBA, boosting viewership, improving player conditions, and advocating for the league's future. So why all the hostility? For many players, achieving the level of recognition Caitlin has gained in such a short time can stir up jealousy and frustration. Players like A'ja Wilson, who have been in the league longer and worked hard to build their reputations, may see Caitlin's success as a threat. Caitlin's rise can feel like a challenge to their own positions in the league. Caitlin's potential move to Europe represents a major turning point, both personally and for the league. The opportunity offers her a fresh start, free from the tension she's faced in the WNBA. Europe would provide financial security and the chance to grow her career on a global stage. However, her departure could have significant consequences for the WNBA, leaving a void that would be hard to fill. Clip 11. Losing Caitlin Clark would lead to a drop in viewership and fan engagement, putting the league's growth in jeopardy. Her departure could shift the power dynamics in women's basketball, with Europe becoming a new hotspot for top talent. The WNBA now faces a tough decision. Will it adapt and improve player conditions to retain future stars, or risk losing more talent to overseas opportunities? Caitlin's choice will be pivotal in shaping the future of the WNBA, impacting both the league's growth and the careers of its players.
Caitlin Clark, number 1 in jersey sales, Angel Reese 2, Sabrina 3, Kate Martin 4. We talked about this earlier in the season. I feel sad that Kate Martin also hasn't gotten as much playing time the second half of the season. I feel like she deserves more, or maybe she deserves a different team. How crazy would that be if she went to Indiana? Just saying.